Hello everyone, it is me, Nicholas, and I'm here today to share with you my experience with cyberbullying. Now I realize that my experience might not be that bad compared to a lot of other people's experiences, but this video is gonna be up with another video of mine where I give my four best tips to dealing with cyberbullying. So I also wanted to do this video where I just talk about my experience so you know where my tips are coming from, kinda. Okay, so I was bullied somewhere between 6th grade until the end of 7th grade, I believe, so only like a year and a half or 2 years or so. I'm not 100% sure because this is a while ago. But I was bullied by people in my class, and this is like the most baffling thing to me, but I'll get back to that. So what happened is, I was pretty much a very shitty person when I was a kid. I was not a really nice person. I used to say a lot of mean stuff, and I was super bossy, and just, in general, not very well liked, and I can totally see why. But I had this friend that I was like, you know, best friends with, even though she wasn't really that good of a friend to me, and I was a really bad friend to her. And towards somewhere in 6th grade, she decided she didn't want to hang out with me anymore, and as she had more popular friends, she just started hanging out with those instead. Now this wouldn't have been so bad if it hadn't been for the fact that she got all of the popular kids to start bullying me on a social networking site that I don't think is up anymore. There has been a few that looks like it a lot, but it was a Norwegian site, so I'm not really sure how to explain it to you. I guess the best way I could is that it's a little bit like MySpace. Like, you could put stuff on, you had a profile, you can upload some pictures if you wanted to, and you could like write stuff on your profile and stuff. But yeah, it was that. Pretty simple, right? So she and all the popular kids, and then again all the kids that follow whatever the popular kids were doing, would start bullying me on this site. Now they all went for a picture, or a few pictures in fact, of dragons, because I had uploaded a few dragons, because I thought they were cool. I love dragons. They went for those pictures, and they started to call me stuff and tell me how stupid I am, and how weird and ridiculous and awkward I was because I liked dragons, which is a little, you know, stupid. The word I was looking for was stupid. Now this was obviously not about the dragons. They didn't actually like bully me and bother me because I like dragons. It was just the easiest thing to take. They just found whatever they could find that could somehow be taken negatively, and they just started to bang on it with their mean comments and hatred and all that stuff. And I didn't really have any friends to back me up. To sum it up, it was mainly stuff like, why do you like dragons? It's so lame. You're so lame. And then a lot of stuff that didn't have anything to do with anything. Just, you know the kind of insults that kids give each other. They don't really make a lot of sense, and they repeat themselves a lot, and the grammar sucks, and it's just hard to take seriously. It was basically a lot like that. There wasn't really a lot of like actual arguments that would make me feel bad about myself. It was just a whole entire wave of hatred that kind of bothered me at the time. And what did I do? Well, despite everyone who knew, which was, by the way, everyone, despite them telling me, just don't care about it, just ignore it, like, if you don't give them any attention, they'll go away. Obviously they won't go away. Seriously, guys, that's a stupid, very, very, very dumb kind of advice in most cases. But yeah, they did not go away if I didn't say anything, so I ended up stalking back. Now, I will say, and this wasn't always, I very often slipped and said stupid things myself, but for the most part, I believe I was fairly good at not sinking to the level. Like, I said some things I shouldn't have said, and I actually even ended up having to apologize to one of my bullies for something I said when no one demanded that anyone apologize to me, because I don't know. It's weird. I don't really remember, but it was stupid. But anyways, for the most part, I just replied to whatever they were saying. So I didn't really attack them back. I was just standing up saying, what you just said is very stupid, makes no sense, goodbye. Occasionally I would slur something back and bitch it back a little bit, but you know, I was a kid, couldn't really be a, mature adult at the time, so yeah. Most of the stuff that was said was not that mean, but as a kid, it hurts your feelings when everyone says that you're stupid or weird and stuff because you like something that is cool. To the day I die, I will say dragons are awesome. Okay, so now you know when it was and how long it lasted and who did it and all those stuff, but how did I feel through all of this? Because, we went on for a while, and to be honest, I got a little used to it. I got used to it in the worst way possible. Kind of like when you just figure, okay, I guess I deserve this. So every single day I would go to school, and all my bullies were in my class, or at least in my year, so I knew all of them. They were all at school. So I would go to school and I would see their faces, and we would just pretend like nothing. We would just go on with our day. I didn't have any friends, so I didn't talk with anyone at school, really. So it would just be like, normal me going to school, not really talking to people, not really doing much, just doing schoolwork and stuff. And then I would go home, and then I would, for some stupid reason, I would always go and I would log on to see all the new mean comments. And for some time, it was like 50, 60 new comments just from last night. So from I went to bed at maybe 10 in the evening until I got home from school at 2:30 in the afternoon the day after, there would be like maybe 60, 70 new mean comments or something. This did, after some time, start to like decline, but at the worst, it was kind of a lot. I remember getting kind of used to it, and I remember showing it to people, and I remember crying a lot. I sat on the floor a lot. I sit on the floor a lot. I guess I'm just Asian. So I was sitting on the floor with my computer, and I would just look at the stuff, and I would cry, and I would be sad. And then someone might ask, why are you sad? And I would show them. And I know my mom was furious, but I also know that nothing really happened. Like, I'm sure she tried to do stuff, I just didn't notice because I was a kid. But here's the thing. Through all of this, I felt really alone, really lonely, and really sad because, well, everyone knew and no one did a thing. Everyone at school knew. My teachers, my students, not my students, but these students, my parents also knew. For a long time, I was really angry about this, that no one did a thing for so long, and like the only, like, it was eventually stopped. Eventually just kind of, I don't know what the word I was looking for, but it just, yeah, it fizzled out. But I was really angry for a long time because no one did a thing. Now, in retrospect, I realized this is to a large degree because it was kind of new with the internet back then. I actually lived in a time where internet wasn't really a thing. We had one computer in our house when I was a kid. So I can't really blame them too much for not being sure how to tackle cyberbullying because, you know, normal bullying was still a thing. I guess it still is, but, you know, cyberbullying was relatively new at the time, and I guess I didn't really know. The answer I typically got from school was just that it was outside of school grounds, so they couldn't really do anything, while all the students, like everyone who was involved, was at school. Apparently, they still couldn't do anything, even though I find that to be incredibly stupid. I was a pretty mean person myself, to be honest. I used to think that I was better than everyone because I was smart. I've always been doing good in school and stuff, and I guess I just got super cocky and stuff. But through all this bullying, I basically stopped thinking anything good of myself, and even though that sounds really, really sad, at least I got rid of all the, you know, stupid behavior, like thinking I was better than people and stuff, so I'm rid of that, at least. I think I'm starting to ramble away from the point. The point is, I was sad. I was bullied. I didn't like it, obviously, and no one did a thing, so I felt really irrelevant, and like no one would listen to me and stuff. Eventually, this all faded away. Thinking back at it, and it's a little hard to remember, but thinking back at it, I think I'm pretty sure that a lot of the reason why things started to kind of eventually like fizzle out, partially because I made one popular friend. Like, I was sitting next to him in school. He couldn't choose. I was sitting next to him, and surprisingly enough, we had a good time together. We would, like, make little jokes, and if he needed help with something, or if he wanted to write off my work, he could. Back then, like, yeah, I don't know. He was a really nice kid, and apparently I wasn't as bad as everyone was saying, so we kind of ended up becoming friends, and then one day he just went online, he wrote this long paragraph, like, defending me, telling people that I'm actually kind of nice and that people should stop, and as he was one of the popular kids, that had at least a little bit of an effect on his friends, like, they kind of stopped a little bit. Another thing that happened is that a lot of people, like strangers, people that I didn't even know, a few people that I did know but that I wasn't talking to, like friends of my brother and stuff, like older brother, they would suddenly show up in my comments and start defending me as well. I was actually accused for this. I was accused for paying people to back me up and support me, which is, you know, weird. But yeah, a few strangers showed up, and they were typically older than the rest of us, actually. And they would all just go, "Oh my god, you idiots, stop bullying this girl. Seriously, if she likes dragons, she can like dragons." And again, it wasn't really about the dragons, but you know. Anyways, so that happened, and then two more things happened. One, the website suddenly allowed for people to delete their own comments. Up until that point, the only people who could delete comments was the owner of the post, so I owned the picture, the comments were like on my picture, so I was the only one who could delete comments, and then, yeah, so when that happened, people started deleting their stuff because they realized they could get in trouble for it. And then I also, this is a little weird and stupid, but for some reason I figured, hey, I want to try wearing, you know, brand clothes. The opportunity was always open for me to have some if I wanted to, but I never really asked for it because I didn't really see the point, because they were usually pretty bland, like just one color t-shirt with like the logo on it and stuff. But I started with my very first DC t-shirt, which was like green with like yellow writings on it, and then after that, occasionally I would get another thing. Like, my parents were really nice about that, because, you know, I never asked a lot for clothes or anything, because I have never really been that interested, but I did start getting a little bit of like brand clothes, and all the guys stopped almost immediately. And I remember asking one of them a little while later, like, "It's weird how you stopped bullying me the moment I got brand clothes," and they were all like, "Well, you're one of us now." Oh, kids. Okay, so now you know when it was, how long it lasted, what happened and why, and you also know how it felt and how it kind of ended. So you guess you have my experience in a nutshell. I would like to add just to the end what happened afterwards, because at the end of the 7th grade, in Norway, you go on to the next kind of stage of school. I guess it's like junior high or something? I'm not really sure how the American system works, but it's, you know, the stage between the first kind of school and the last one that you... Well, actually, I don't know. Anyways, we went on to 8th grade, but that's on a different school, and then they typically merge down a lot of the smaller schools into like one big pile of to-be teenagers, you know, preteens. Disgusting race, actually. Preteens. But yeah, we went on there. And people didn't bully me anymore at that point, because they were busy trying to make a new impression on all the new, older kids, because we went from being the oldest to being the youngest again. So a lot of people just kind of obsessed over making like a good impression on the new, older kids, but also on the new kids at their age from all the other schools. Well, they want another school, because they merged 2 of them. I didn't have any friends. I lost all my friends during the bullying period and stuff, because I was being an ass. But yeah, so... the aftermath of this is that I had no friends when we went on to a new school, and it was a pretty lonely time for a long time, so yeah, that sucked. But I don't know, at least I stopped bullying. I would like to finish this video of my cyberbullying experience with the following. How am I feeling about all of this today? Well, first of all, I do have this very flawed opinion, I guess. Like, a lot of people disagree with me on this. This was all my fault. Because I typically have that opinion of myself, that most of the things that happen are my fault. I was a pretty bad kid, honestly. I'm not saying this just to get, like, people's sympathy or people saying, no, I'm sure you were fine, you seem lovely. I'm saying this because I know I was extremely bossy, and I used to say, I typically have been a fairly straightforward person, so if someone says something stupid, I'm not afraid to say that was very stupid. Well, I am now, but I wasn't back then. So yeah, I feel like a lot of it I brought upon myself. Being that mean to the other girl who eventually, like, you know, didn't want to be friends with me anymore. That was bad. So in a way, I guess I brought the bullying upon myself. And I sometimes debate whether or not I deserved it, but in a way I'm actually happy that it happened. If it hadn't been for the time where I was basically whipped really hard, mentally, by the people who I had been, you know, arrogant to, then I guess maybe I would still be arrogant. I would be a know-it-all, someone who thought I knew better, someone who always, like, bossed people around, because I figured I was smarter than everyone, because I did better in school. I no longer have that attitude, which is good. I feel like it shaped me as a human, yay! I could have done without it, but I'm okay with it happening, I guess. I still feel like it was very dumb that the school didn't do anything. I know my parents wanted to. I'm sure my parents spoke with the school more than I knew, because, you know, I'm sure they just called the school and was like, do something, and the school was like, we'll get on it, and then the school sat down and they were like, we'll not get on it, because it's online and we don't really get online yet, and stuff like that, so... yeah, I hope schools are better at dealing with it today, but honestly, I doubt it. This was my experience, and I'm fine now, honestly. So if you're going through this, I'm fine now. I hope you'll be fine. I'm sure you'll be fine, really. It's online. Stuff online can be as real as you choose it to be, sometimes. I don't know, that was stupid. I'm gonna go. I don't know if I have anything else to say that would really matter, but if you are struggling with this, or know someone who is struggling with cyberbullying and stuff of various degrees, then I made a video with my 4 best tips to deal with cyberbullying, and it will be up on my main channel. Link will be in the description, and yes, isn't that brilliant? Alright, sorry this got a little long and a little rambly towards the end, but thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, okay?